Hey, what's going on, people? A few minutes late this morning. It's nasty, rainy in Ohio. Can you believe that? It's never nasty and rainy here in Ohio. And I crawled out of bed a little bit late, but I'm feeling awake this morning. We're thinking about going hiking today, but can't do that with the crappy weather. So I'll stay on here. I'm gonna do a live for usually about an hour. What's going on, Antonio? Usually I'm on for about an hour, but I will stay on as long as you guys have questions. And no question is too crazy. What's going on, Sergio? No question is off limits. So just let it rip, have fun, and hopefully I can help some of you guys improve your results. I'm trying to wake up with my coffee. What's everybody up to this morning? I am probably going to go up to Hocking Hills and see if I can hike tomorrow. Sergio says, Steve, what is your take on intermittent fasting? I'm going to get into that in just a second. I'll get into your questions just in a second. Just a reminder, what's going on, Ben? What's going on, Jonah? What's going on, Alexander? Get your questions in just a second. Just a reminder, if you need any help, bench press, training, I have books and courses over at my site, Super Living Today, a bench press book, Power Muscle Block book, my Massive Iron book, Flex Calorie Dieting, not dying. If you need help with workout assistance, if you need exercise form assistance, any of that good stuff, head over to superlivingtoday.com. If you just want a Massive Iron t-shirt, go over there as well. All right, commercial done. Let's get into questions. If I miss your questions, please repost them. And if I don't get to them in this video, go over to my Instagram at BenTheBarman, and slide up into my DM. All right, Sergio says, Steve, what's your take on intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting can be a good thing for certain people. First, let's establish it's not a magic protocol. It's not something that is better at fat loss inherently than any other eating system or way of eating. If you want to try it, certainly give it a try. Just understand it's not magic, and it may not be the best for retaining muscle. I'm going to caveat that, and some people get excited, or I should say upset when I say that, but in my personal experience, it's just better to eat a little bit more frequently. I'm not talking about frequent feeding, but to get your protein in throughout the day. But intermittent fasting is really good for binge eaters. It's really good for guys with slow metabolisms that don't get a lot of calories in each day. And it's a good limiting mechanism, meaning it's hard to overeat on intermittent fasting. So there's a lot of good points, but just don't consider it magic. All right, Ben on Adventures. Hey, Steve, just starting my workout, but I'll stick around, loving full body every day. Have fun, Ben. Take charge of the iron. Just do some smashing in my name. Jonah says, creamer in coffee bad. Is it bad? Nothing is bad, really. Nothing is bad as long as it's not done excessively. Life is about balance. If you want a little creamer in your coffee, that's fine. If you want a little sugar in your coffee, that's fine. Just don't put 10 cubes in there. I have one client who shall remain nameless that puts like 16, 17 creamers in the coffee. I don't even think there's any coffee in there. That's a little excessive. And it's a female client, so it just wastes a lot of calories. All right. What's going on, Alexander? Daniel, Steve, how often do you incorporate farmers walks into your program? That is a loaded carry, can be done really as often as you like. It could be done, 3 times a week. It's going to work your yoke, your traps, your upper back to a degree, your neck to a degree, all that kind of good stuff. So you could probably do it 3 times, full body. That's reasonable. I don't see why not. I mean, you can do other things. I mean, as cardio, you could do like loaded carries, loaded sandbag carries, or whatever. You could probably do it 6 times a week if you manage the intensity, not meaning that you're not going, completely super heavy each time. Excuse me. Let's see. Shivam Steve, we'll restart the gym on Monday to build strength. Is 5 by 5 right or something else you recommend? 5 by 5 is just a set and rep scheme. And there's nothing magical about 5 by 5. I hate, I really honestly don't like arbitrary set and rep schemes. And you're going to say, well, you create workouts and you create arbitrary set and rep schemes. Yes, I do. I do that. But the reason why I say, like people get stuck on 5 by 5 and they don't get stuck on like 4 by 10. It's become almost magical. It's fine. Just add a proper amount of volume and accessory work, assistance work to it. But you don't have to do 5 by 5 on every exercise if it bores the heck out of you. I personally don't think 5 by 5 is a good choice for overhead press movements, for barbell row movements, and things like that. I believe those lifts, those movements respond better in using more reps and higher reps per set. That's just my opinion. What's going on, John Holmes? Alexander says, what do you do in between sets? What do I do in between sets? Usually just think about the next set. I mean, I don't do a lot of crazy stuff. I don't hang on my phone. Usually I set my phone down unless I got something going on that day that's really pressing and I need to monitor my phone. But typically, I don't do anything. I don't do anything at all. I just think about the next set and getting out of the gym because I like lifting, but more than I like lifting, I like to be done with lifting. So, Baby G, Steve, what do you think of street workout style training? If you're talking about like street calisthenics, it looks a lot of fun. If you're talking about, I'm not a young hip dude. I'm just an old AF dude. So I don't know if you're talking about parkour or street calisthenics or whatever. All that kind of stuff looks fun. It really does. I mean, if I was a young buck, thin and nimble again, I'd probably do a lot of that stuff myself. It just looks fun, it just looks fun. Alexander said, what would be an example of a program that builds strength but not muscle? You know what? If a program exists, it needs to die because any strength program needs to be put together to build muscle. There's synergy. If you look at components of a strength program, when you are peaking or when you are trying to build strength as an advanced lifter and doing lower rep sets, those still have to be backed by a proper amount of assistance exercises or framed properly with backup work so you can maintain your muscle mass or build your muscle mass or continue to get stronger. So there isn't a program that builds strength without building muscle, unless you take a newbie that has a lot of strength potential left, and you just put them on, say, 3 exercises, squat, bench, and deadlift, and they're getting stronger, but they're really not challenging themselves to a greater degree. A lot of things can get you stronger in the short run, but are they optimal for long-term muscle mass? No. Everything resistance training is going to help you build muscle when you're building strength. It's just a question of to what degree. So you could do a minimal type of program and not do enough volume, still be building strength, but really undercutting the amount of muscle mass you're building, if that makes sense. Let's see. Sorry if got a frog in my throat. It's cold as heck here, and I always have sinus problems, so I do apologize. Let's see. Where are the questions? How can I be fit with low diet and normal foods? I'm not sure what you mean with a low diet. Normal foods, I'm not sure what you mean by normal foods. If you're talking about food choices that are processed, that are boxed, that are fast foods, in the long run, that stuff's always food choices matter. And when you're young, you really don't notice them mattering as much. You're eating the processed sugar, the processed flour. If you're not overeating, if you're exercising, you don't notice them taking its toll on the body, but they almost always catch up to you. They almost always prevent you from being as optimal as you could be. People that eat a lot of that stuff and are active will say, I feel fine, my body's fine. But what you learn when you're older and you stay away from those types of bad food choices is that when you come back to them, you feel like crap. You feel like crap. There's bloating. You don't sleep as well. You feel like crap. You can see the differences in food choices. So food choices matter. I'm not sure what you consider normal foods, but if they are crap foods, you just simply need to change your diet. That's not fitness. That's just bad decision making. William, I'm 46. Can you recommend a good beginning program? I'm 300 and want to get down to 230. Diet and workout routine. So basically, William, you want me to coach you and put together a full workout and diet program on my live video. I can't do it. I'm not minimizing your goals or poking, or poking fun at you. I'm just giving you crap. Excuse me. But that's what I do for coaching. If you need coaching, go over to superlivingtoday.com. First month of coaching is actually free, but you can also get my book over there, Massive Iron, which teaches you how to build muscle. It has like 20 programs. You can also get my book, Flex Calorie Dieting, over there. And that, if you don't want coaching, those two books will equip you to lose weight and to build muscle. So, let's see, MDS. You got a small tip for suppression of appetite. Improve your food choices. Eat food volume. Food volume, if you have an appetite, sometimes it comes down to swapping out food choices. I'm going to give you a test, all right? Anybody that has a big appetite, that is taking in too many calories, I want you to do something for me tonight for dinner or tomorrow, whatever. You can light a candle and you can pretend I'm sitting there with you. We're having a romantic dinner, all right? So I want you to get 2 bags of cauliflower rice from the grocery store, Walmart, or 2 bags of those suckers, all right? I want you to get 2 bags of mixed vegetables, 2 bags of mixed vegetables that are like less than 150, less than 200 calories for the bag. So we got 2 bags of cauliflower rice. We got 2 bags of mixed vegetables. If you don't want to do the mixed vegetables, you can buy them yourself. So we are up to 550 calories. Now I want you to put in like a bunch of chicken and a bunch of shrimp and then just a light sauce, So we're probably up to like 1,300 calories, 1,400 calories, something like that. We got 2 bags of cauliflower rice, 2 bags of mixed vegetables. We have chicken, we have shrimp, and we have a real light sauce. Try to eat all that food. Try to eat that food volume. You will not finish it. You will not finish it. Try to eat it. So my tip for people that have a big appetite, you need to make better food choices. You need to incorporate more food volume. Sorry for the long ramble. Danielle Khan, can weighted calisthenics alone make me look like a Greek god? Well, a Greek god didn't have a lot of muscle mass, but they had some muscle mass. So weighted calisthenics are good. They'll never replace the traditional barbell and dumbbell training as far as maximizing muscle. You will build some muscle, obviously. You can look good. If your goal is to build a little bit of muscle mass, then have at it. The problem with weighted calisthenics is you got to be pretty good at that stuff. You need to be able to challenge yourself with that stuff, and you really need to dedicate yourself to mastering that stuff. So in my opinion, it would be more challenging. You'd have to put in more time and effort to master that than you would barbell and dumbbell training just to get less results. So that's my answer. Sam, awesome. Sir, can muscle be developed after the age of 30? Sam, I'm 51. Yes. Without eating boiled chicken. Who eats boiled chicken? Boiled chicken sounds nasty. Why do you want to boil a chicken? Sorry. Without eating boiled chicken or non-vegetarian foods. Without eating non-vegetarian foods. Okay. You can, yeah, obviously you can. Sam's question is, can you build muscle over the age of 30 with basically with the vegetarian lifestyle? Absolutely. As long as you train hard, and you get in enough calories and protein, you're fine. Absolutely. It all comes down to training. Ben on Adventure says, what's favorite junk food? I think my worst one is salt and vinegar chips, just in moderation. My favorite junk food, what I like to go for more than anything, is beer. Beer. When I go to the store, I just look for the beers. I look for the Russian stouts, the double, triple IPAs. I look for stuff that just has wonderful flavors and tastes, and that's my junk food. That is really what I go for at the store. I like beer. I just like beer. But if I'm going for junk food, usually tortilla chips, sometimes ice cream. Not a lot though. What about 12 by 7 trillion? Thank you. Been on an adventure. I love the rep ranges from 5 to 20, but dang, 15 to 20 can definitely burn. 15 to 20 can just be like a little bit tedious mentally. So I don't do a lot of that type of stuff. If I do, it's usually at the end of a workout where I can just do one and get the heck out of here because it's 1 or 2 or whatever. Bruce, I've realized the benefit of building strength in the 8 to 20 rep range. Can I do this all the way up to 300 pounds on bench? Yes, you can. I built 99% of my strength never going below the 6 rep range. It is a lie that anybody believes when anybody implies or thinks you can't do the same thing. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. If you never went below 6 reps, and I say 6 because everybody's in love with 5 by 5s. If you never went below 6 reps on a set, you could get you probably build a 400-pound bench, 600-pound squat. You know, it's just reality. You just got to train smart. Will low reps help you as an advanced lifter? Yeah, probably. But, you know, how many of us truly get to that advanced lifter stage where we have a ton of strength and we just want more? I mean, there are a lot of guys out there that have a ton of strength that have been lifting for a while that just don't like powerlifting. They like to be strong. I mean, I was one of them. I didn't know anything about powerlifting until 2007. And up until that point, I could do 120s on dumbbell overhead presses for 5 reps. My bench press had been close to 430 when I was 29 years old. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what powerlifting was. And I never went below 6 reps. And that's the truth. My squat sucked. My squat was probably like 430, but I never really took my squat on all those years past like 365 for 4. I think that was just kind of my top set. So Rod says, morning, Steve, down 100 pounds in 8 months. Way to go, Rod. That's amazing work. He says, I'm still 300, intermittent fasting, and eating pretty clean in a deficit. I just started lifting a couple months ago. Great job. You have done a wonderful job. You found something that works for you. Continue to do that and just slowly evolve it. So when you have reached the end of your line, you have a nice, clean eating lifestyle, relatively clean eating lifestyle. So Rod goes on to say, feel like I'm putting in a ton of work, no better results. Please help. If you're talking about help for muscle building, Rod, the best foundation I can give anybody is to check out my book, Massive Iron. And I know it's a sales promo, but that has 200 pages of content and basically equips you to maximize the gym. It's not a miracle system, but it is a good roadmap. And that is the best place to start. Short of that, I also do a workout assessment service you can find over at superlivingtoday.com. I do a workout assessment service, and I can get you on track as well. What's going on, Andy? Andy says, yo, 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 sorry I'm late. I'll be here. I'm always here. I'm always here. I never go away. Let's see. Harut, recommendations to maintain mass and strength late into a cut. When you are in a cut for a long period of time, what I recommend is stop training for, stop doing real low rep stuff. Challenge your body with volume, and then challenge your body with like pump work or rest pause work. One of the best things you can do on a cut, in my opinion, is do a little bit of volume, then do a little bit of rest pause, and then maybe do like a finisher, because the volume will put like pressure on the body. So here's what I mean by volume. Let's say you bench press 225 for 5 normally. On a cut, you might do 155 for 4 sets of 10. Then you might hop over to dumbbell bench press and do 3 sets of 15. Then you might go over to machine chest press and do 3 sets of 12, rest pause style, or maybe 5 sets of 10 rest pause style. And then maybe do a couple sets of push-ups for as many reps as possible. That's kind of like, you know, extremely intense. So you get some volume, you can do some volume work, some rest pause work. That's my best recommendation if you are on a cut. That'll help you maintain your strength just by doing the volume of work. So you might lose a little bit of 1 rep max strength, but who cares? It comes back after you're done cutting. Muscle memory is a real thing. And when you bolster a muscle cell, it is strengthened for life, even if it temporarily weakens. The structure is actually changed and altered. It is strengthened. It is fortified from what we understand. So after you lose weight, lose a little strength, lose a little muscle, when you normalize, that cell will actually get stronger and bigger. It'll return to its normal state again rather quickly. John West says, Big Steve, what's up? What's going on, John? Carl says, good morning, stay warm, trying to. It warmed up in Ohio, but it's raining crazy right now, so not hiking weather. Johnny E says, thoughts on high lat and biceps and becoming a top-tier bodybuilder. Thoughts on high lats and biceps. You know, from what I've seen in bodybuilding, and I've had friends that have done bodybuilding shows, and I've watched bodybuilding shows, really, if you want to become a good bodybuilder, you really need to master the art of being in great condition. And that means being shredded. If you can be shredded, you are going to be a top-tier bodybuilder, even if your genetics aren't perfect. Almost everybody has something that's not good on them. I have a big barn door back, literally, and I know that's overused. I have monster traps. I have triceps for days. I have huge quads. I have a structure that makes me look tall, even though I'm only 5'10". You know, people will see me in pictures and they'll be like, because of the way my body structure looks like, I look taller. So that they think I'm almost like Arnold or like a mini strongman or whatever they think, but it's not true. But you can no matter what you do in life, bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever, don't worry about genetics. Stay focused on your passion. Stay focused on what you love to do, and all that other crap, whether you can be successful or whatever, don't worry about that. You are successful if you do what you like to do on any given day with a passion, and you're also successful if you allow yourself the freedom in life to wake up the next day and say, I don't want to do this anymore. So just keep that in mind. Fat Buddy Cat. Let me get some coffee here. Fat Buddy Cat. I'm 36. 6 foot 270. I can bench 285, deadlift 450, squat 365. Is this better than average? Bench 285, yeah, it's better than average. Deadlift 450 and squat 365. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you know, you walk in any gym and the majority of guys in the gym can't do those 3 lifts. So I would say that's above average. Let's see. Brian says, I love your videos. Thank you for your support, Brian. You're never going to get fancy cameras or jump cuts out of me. I just try to make it about information. You know, making YouTube videos every day, you're kind of talking about the same thing. So I try to approach information from a different, maybe different perspective every time I do videos. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just a doofus. I'm just a dipshit. I'm just a guy that likes lifting, and I try to, you know, present my information the best I can to help you guys. I don't always do so in the best way. I'm human. I struggle with sinus issues, and it's just the way I am. I come at everybody the way I am, and you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's for sure. But I appreciate everybody that supports this channel. We're almost to 50,000 subscribers. That'll cause a couple people to unsubscribe just to try to piss me off, but who cares? It's just a number. Hector, what's better, sprints or jogging? 3-4 miles a week. Will one help me maintain muscle on a cut? No, don't. I mean, sprint or jogging, you need to be doing cardio no matter what in life, just to take care of your body and your health. But will one help you maintain muscle more on a cut? The thing that'll help you maintain muscle on a cut is what I just talked about, getting in a volume of work and pushing hard, to maintain your existing strength. Let's see. Tom, when is that gym going to not be empty? This gym is actually really full. If you guys don't mind me moving the camera a bit, you just can't see it. All right, here we go. We'll try not to give you shaky cam. Right behind me, we have my rock where I squat and bench. I was doing deadlifts. Over on the door, we have some, here, we'll just walk around. Try not to give anyone motion. I actually have a lot of equipment in here. But I got this little funky device right here. Let's see if this holds at the top of the door so you can do things like tricep extensions. And then I got a TRX unit. And over in the corner, we're just filled with all kinds. Let's see if we can get that to focus. We got weights, we got bars, we got multiple bars, multiple dumbbells, we got a pull-up bar, we got an ab wheel. I got tons of stuff in here for a little 15 by 15 area. So I can do pretty much everything in here. Dumbbells, barbells, body weights. And with the cables and the TRX, I can mimic a lot of machines. So I guarantee if anybody rolls through Ohio and wants to work out with me in here, we can do an ass kicker, that's for sure. The flying. What's your opinion on giant sets? I need to spend less time in the gym, and I think they're a way forward. I'm going to give you something better, okay? Giant sets. Giant sets. The flaw with giant sets is you're doing multiple exercises, and the ones at the end of the road are going to be a little bit, less than optimal. You have to do a progression on giant sets. You have to move down to less punishing exercises. So you might be able to do a giant set with like, barbell bench press, and then you might be able to do like flies and then push-ups or whatever. I think rest pause work is a much better option for those with limited time in the gym. Rest pause or block training, which is just a variation of rest pause training, is a much better way because you're restricting rest, you're keeping your arm tight, you're not generally sticking to an arbitrary, I have to rest, I can't rest in between sets of exercises. So I think giant sets, while okay, I think rest pause training and block training is superior for those with limited time. Big old Brad says, is there any cardio you can do with a broken foot? With a broken foot, they have those little bikes, those little hand bikes you can do. Swimming is probably your best option, and I'm not sure. That's going to be more steady state cardio. I don't think there's a lot of elevated heart rate stuff you can do with a broken foot. You might be able to do assisted step ups where you hold on to something and you step up with just one foot. But then again, you wouldn't be able to step back down that. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just thinking through this stuff. Probably swimming. Maybe if somebody else has any ideas, I can toss it up. Definitely sex. Sex for an extended period of time. That would be a good form of cardio. Something where your heart rate is elevated. I'm not sure if you can do body weight squats while you are, with a broken foot. If there's any calisthenic or body weight exercises you can do that get your heart rate elevated, you could do those in complex form. You could do dumbbell and barbell complexes, some stuff that you're doing seated where you just move from exercise to exercise to exercise. That's a possibility. You could do machine stuff like that where if you try to get to like 50 total reps or 100 total reps on, say, a machine with a lighter weight, because we're just trying to do cardio here. I mean, you could that'll keep your heart rate elevated. So yeah, there's a way. It's just not an easy way. Ben Adventure says, talking about not caring about powerlifting, that's me. Just training to be athletic and aesthetic. It's okay just to like the move. You know, we don't always have to have a goal to be the biggest and the baddest on planet. Andre, do you always use a slingshot? Yep. Slingshot is a bench press assistance device. I'm going to go get it for those of you that don't know what it is. And this is a slingshot. Mine is like 10 years old. It's really worn, and it's not as tight as it used to be. Probably gives me like 25, 30 pounds on the lift, but I use it. It's great for the shoulders. Some people see it and they're like, oh, you're cheating. It's not cheating. It's just a method of overload. It provides overload, and it provides support for the shoulders. So I like to use it. I've been benching for 33 years, and I feel it helps me keep my shoulders healthy. I have healthy shoulders. So Katie, hi, big hairy ugly dude. Lately, when I've been deadlifting, I feel sore only in the left side of my lower back. That's never heard that one before. Should I work more on form or more core strength? Both, actually. The first place you want to look when you have an issue, especially lower back soreness, is going to be exercise form. If any of you guys want somebody to take a look at your form for free, join my Massive Iron Facebook group and post up a form video. Sometimes people are, you know, they'll give you their honest advice. Or you can, I do form assessments, which is a paid service, but if you just send me an exercise video, I'll take a look at it real quick and just say, hey, that's jacked up. You definitely need to fix this or that or the other thing. So, and core strength never hurts. Do ab wheel rollouts, do planks, do stuff like that. Leo, is 21 sets per workout 4 times per week too much if 2/3 of the exercises are compound movements done for 3 to 4 sets? That is, that's about 14, 28, 56 sets of compound movements a week. Is that too much? It will be eventually. As you gain strength on those movements, you will beat your body up. It will become too much, yes. You'll probably have to pull back the amount of compound volume you do over time. So just don't stick to that. Be willing to change it as you get stronger. If you start feeling your body's feeling beat up, you're going to have to evolve it a little bit. Brent says, hey, big hairy ugly dude, question. Been doing the bench press 10 to 50 challenge for about 3 weeks now. Should I stop after a month to check progress, then rinse and repeat? You should be noticing, you know, improvement with how many reps you're getting. I would not. I would just stick to that thing for 2 to 3 months. Just give it 2 to 3 months. Ride it out. Ride it out. You'll have a bigger payoff. You'll have a bigger payout. So I would not stop this early. The supplement engineer, Robert, best way to enter the live stream, Steve calling himself a doofus. Welcome to the party, Robert. Yeah, that's pretty much my all I do all day long is call myself a dipshit. Dev Dog, how long do you think your 10 to 15 bench press program will take till you hit the goal of 50? That all depends on where you're at. If you can hit 225 for 3 now, would you recommend this for rows and squats? Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun challenge. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing magical about the program, but it is a fun challenge. And if you ride it out to the end, the key is to give it time and to see it through, because that's going to be the key no matter what you do. How you try to progress or what scheme you see is consistency in that consistent effort. And structures like my 10 to 50 program provide you with a good focus. And if you see it through on any exercise, you're going to come to the end of it and you're going to be like, my strength increased dramatically. And then you'll be like, wow, this was a wonderful program. Then you realize it's not the program. It is the fact that you saw the program through. You had a goal and you went after that goal. So go after the goal. EST Param. Hey, you don't need extra quad work if you have a proper squat form. You need to do... you don't need extra quad work if you have proper squat form. That is a big bunch of bullshit. That's a big bunch of bullshit. That anybody that comes on this channel and says you don't need extra quad work if you have proper squat form is just revealing themselves as not knowing what the fuck they're doing and have never trained anybody in their life. That is, you know, I stay pretty calm on this channel, but if somebody comes in my videos and preaches bullshit or stupidity, I'm going to call them out on it. And that is complete bullshit. You don't need extra quad work if your squat form is good. That is a steaming load of shit. Let's see, Hyper Alarm 4. And now I'm going back to make sure I didn't misread his question and lay him out for nothing. Hyper Alarm 4. Hey, Steve, in the standard pyramid training, how would you recommend progressing each set, say if the reps are 12, 8, 6, etc.? You're going for you're doing a specific amount of reps. So there's different ways you could do it, okay? If you're doing like a 12, 8, 6 or a 12, 10, 8, 6 or whatever, there has to be some set that you're pushing balls out. I personally would maybe make it the 6 rep set. So let's say you do 12 reps with 155 on bench, and then 10 with 175. This is just an example. And then 8 with 195, and then you move up to 215, right? Do as many reps as you can on 215. Make that your set where you try to push for 8 reps, and if you hit 8 reps, you add weight. There has to be some set in that mix that gives you a carrot to try to progress. So you could also just do it intuitively. You could also just say, hey, I feel like I could add 5 pounds and still get 12 reps. I feel like I could add 5 pounds and still get 10 reps. So that's a real good reason. That's a real good way to do it as well. EST Params back saying, same with bench, just triceps and upper back work is needed. You are an idiot, really. No disrespect, but you have no clue what you're talking about. You're going to teach me how to build strength? I mean, seriously. Why don't you come? Here's what I have to say. If you're a strength expert, come on over to Massive Iron and post up your videos, okay? Post up the videos of your strength feats and show the world the results of your mouth. Because if you're going to come on this channel and say you don't need this, that, or the other thing to build, I don't want to hear your mouth. I want to see your strength. So your mouth doesn't mean jack shit to me or anybody that follows me. Larry Bullock, Steve, can you recommend 1 or 2 exercises to help drive my deadlift weight up? My sticking point right now is right below the knee. The first thing I would do, there's 3 things I would do, maybe 4. I would try to get your back as strong as humanly possible. Start using VersaGrips, do a lot of dumbbell rows, a lot of barbell rows, and get them a lot stronger than you are now. On dumbbell rows, try to get up to 150 by a set of 20. On barbell rows, try to get to 185 for 5 sets of 10 at least. Start doing pulls from 3 to 5 inches off the ground and do them, say, every week or every other week. Do a lot of trap work, a lot of power shrug work, some power shrug volume. And I would also consider alternating for a year, and this is a big investment, between conventional and sumo deadlifts. 1 week conventional, 1 week sumo, 1 week conventional, 1 week sumo. Because somewhere in that mix is some weaknesses, and that'll fix it. That'll help fix it. That's what I would do to build up your deadlift strength, just as a base. Der Schwarzgeist. Could I do box squats instead of regular squats on Massive Iron? Yes. Just know that box squats tend to change the squat dynamic. We tend to be more hips back, even if we don't realize it. And that can sometimes contribute to knee tendonitis in some folks. I experienced this myself when I switched to box squats. It changed the way you squat. So if you're going to do box squats only, you need to lower the weight again just a little bit and really learn how to box squat properly before you start, going up in weight, before you start getting really aggressive in weight. Mr. Smith, how would you program weighted chin-ups if your goal is trying to reach 100 pounds. If I were trying to reach a 100-pound weighted chin-up, what I would do would be to do them frequently, 3 times a week, say, and I would probably do a lot of volume. I would try to do, say, get to 50 reps each day with, with a specific amount of weight in a certain amount of time. So let's say you have 20 pounds strapped to you. You might want to try, see if you can get 50 chin-ups in 5 minutes. If you can, move up to 15 pounds. So that's the way I would approach it. Don't do low rep sets of chin-ups. I would do a volume, and I would do them frequently, and see if that helps. That's just an educated guess. Joseph, if conventional deadlifts and back squats destroy your lower back, can you still get the same muscle recruitment from front squats and RDLs? Front squats and RDLs, in my opinion, will actually be harder on your lower back than deadlifts and back squats. Front squats, the weight is in front of you, so that tends to shift you forward and put a little bit more strain. You have to try to get more upright, and it tends to, for me, strain my lower back or put more stress on my lower back. RDLs basically are more lower back intense. So if you go light on them, but that defeats the purpose of doing them. If your lower back's getting destroyed with back squats and deadlifts, you really need some form help. Let's see. Toyo Busa, you still go work out in gym when you are age 60. You need to move for the rest of your life. Movement is so important in life and health. So absolutely. Hyper Alarm. Loved your reviews on Strongless 5x5 and starting strength. Could you also do a review of Grayskull LP? I don't know what that is. If you could send me a link to it at my Instagram at Ben the Barman, I'd be glad to take a look at it. And thank you. Sean, I'm eating enough protein but not tracking calories. I'm getting stronger, but sometimes I lose and gain weight every other week. Will I be able to build muscle? That's the wrong question, Sean. The real question is, why aren't you consistent with your eating? You need to get consistent with your eating. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. And I mentioned it in my video yesterday at the end, that if you want to build muscle, you're getting in the gym consistently, you need to set a calorie minimum and hit that every single day. And if not, the question isn't, will I be able to build muscle? The question is, why am I being undisciplined and not hitting my calories each day? Wolfgang Leatherman, what are some good warm-ups to active hamstrings and glutes without activating the quad? Good warm-ups to activate the hamstrings without activating the quads. I do, like on the lower back thing, I kind of do a ghetto glute ham raise, which is really, really good if you have that piece of equipment in your gym. You can put a ball on the floor, one of those big juicy exercise balls, and put your feet up on it and roll it in. You can do banded hamstring work. You can do leg curls. There's a lot of stuff like that you can do to activate the hamstrings or to warm up the hamstrings without doing any quad work. Let's see. Gunther, do you do walking barbell lunges? No, I don't like to overload that exercise personally. I like to do barbell lunges I like to do lunges as a finisher. I like to do, like when I do lunges, it's for 50 or 100, but they're body weight. They just feel better to me. And with the knee, a lot of people don't know how to do lunges properly. When you step forward, you have to actually lower the rear knee and then press up with the front foot. And people don't really know how to do that on the lunge because it's never taught. So I'm nervous about telling people to do barbell lunges until I know they can actually do a lunge. I think a better exercise is doing a step up with dumbbells in your hand. Now, I know Mike Rashid used to do the barbell on his back and do the step ups, and that looks sexy AF, but it's also dangerous AF. If you are, if you have a box, you can step up, or you could even put a weighted vest on. And I believe I believe Thenex sells one for 170 bucks. If you don't want to be an idiot, you could just get like a $10 backpack at Walmart and load it up with weights or cans of food or something, and then eat the food after you're done. But you can do step ups with a weighted vest. When you step down, though, you have to step down, not jump down. But body weight lunges, no, I prefer body weight lunges over barbell lunges. Let's just leave it at that. John says, what do you think about sissy squats for extra quad work? If they work for you, absolutely. I've never liked the way they feel, but if you like the way they feel and are comfortable with them, absolutely. I would do them for volume, like as a finisher. Tom, if you lunge with a barbell, you should be sterilized. Chris says, I have a bad knee. Been to doctors, says I really shouldn't squat or do a leg extension. What would you recommend? Chris, I got to be honest with you. When somebody tells me they have a bad knee, I can't do anything for them unless they tell me what is wrong with the knee. So I need to know what the doctor told me is wrong with your knee, and that would help. Because saying like, you know, I have, it'd be the same as me saying I have a disease, what should I take? I don't know what the disease is, so I can't tell you what to take. So if I don't know what's wrong with the knee or what you can and can't do, I can't tell you what to do in the gym. So, you know, I really don't know what to say. Most times, and I'm not being disrespectful to you, but 90% of people that tell me I have a bad knee or bad back, they either have a bad knee or bad back because they're overweight or because their form stinks, or they'll just make that up so they don't have to exercise, don't have to do the hard lifts. That's what most people do. And most people that have a bad back or bad knee from being obese, most people have a bad knee or bad back from being obese or not doing any exercise. So they really need to start moving and lose weight. The supplement engineer, apparently, let's see, spider muscle. If you can't progress on the overhead press, would you recommend do the push press instead? Yeah, I mean, one of the issues with overhead pressing is that, you know, people try to do it for low rep sets or lower rep sets. I'm not a fan of that. I think guys should do 8 to 10 reps for dumbbell and barbell presses. I would move your work to that first and see if you can progress in that range, honestly. And then if that's a struggle, it might just be a patience issue at that point. So I would just be patient and try to add reps to sets and not be so you know, uptight about progressing rapidly. SG Brain Strain. Do you prefer more exercises, less sets, or more sets with fewer exercises? I tend to do a lot of different lifts, but 3 to 4 sets of 8. 3 to 4 sets per exercise is pretty normal. I tend to do like, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 exercises per workout, depending on how I feel. Some of them might even only be for 2 sets. So what's going on, Antonio? We're about 48 minutes in. I'm going to try to get as many questions as I can. And if I miss your question, slide up into my DM at Instagram at Ben the Barman, and I'll try to answer it. Or check me out on Instagram every 7 p.m. Eastern Wednesday nights. I also do a live there at Ben the Barman. Dan, farmer's walks for strength and size. Where in your workout should you do it? Good question. If you're going to do loaded carries, I think a good day to do loaded carries are generally on squatting days that you squat and deadlift. Because it's a posterior movement that involves a posterior chain. You glutes, your hamstrings. It also involves your anterior chain, your quads and stuff like that. But it makes more sense to do farmer's walks on days when you're squatting and deadlifting or doing similar movements, in my opinion. Have you ever heard of the lift waff? No. I'm not sure if that's a sexual position or an ice cream flavor. Sorry. Watching from Los Angeles. What's going on, Louis? I hope your weather's probably a lot nicer out in Los Angeles than it is here. Dwayne says, finally able to watch you. I'm usually teaching class at this time. Glad you can join me. I was a little bit slow in getting out of bed today, so I was about 10 minutes late. Ken says, can you do a review on Ivysaur beginner program? I don't know what that is. You can send it to me in DM and Instagram at Ben the Barman. I'll take a look. D. Hunsaker. Recommendations for when to work out for guys that work the night shift. I worked the night shift when I first got into powerlifting, and I like to work out before I went into work. Um, that is when I prefer to, because night shift can just mess up your cycle. And at the end of your shift, you're less likely, no matter when you work, you're less likely to have the same motivation and same drive as if you work out, before you work out or before you work. Just I like to get it over with. I like to get it over with. So, but it's really going to come down to personal preference. There's no magic answer for that one. Lightning. Do you think goblet squats are a good accessory after squats over leg press? They can be a good, I mean, if you're doing squats, I just want you to get in some quad work after squats. So goblet squats are good. I would do them for volume. 4 to 5 sets of 10 or something like that, or 3 sets of 15. But yeah, they're a good backup exercise. You could do goblet squats after squatting, and then you could do like 50 body weight squats, or you could do like 50 body weight lunges as a finisher. You'd get in some pretty good quad work. Tom says a squat stand would fit in that room nice. Can you bench press in it and barbell? I can't overhead press. It gets a little spotty. It's oops, I almost tripped here. It's pretty close to the ceiling, so I can't overhead press. The shoulders are my biggest challenge training in here, but I usually just do seated dumbbell overhead presses. Chris says Walmart has a vest up to 20 pounds. Yep, and you don't need to pay $170 for Thenex's vest. Hank Cheesecake. Steve, I don't have access to farmer's handles. Could I get away with a hex bar if I want to do farmer's walks? Absolutely. There's a lot of things you can do if you want to do a farmer's walk. I believe you could even, I got backpacks with handles at the top, and I believe you could even just load those suckers up if you had 2 of those. And those you could take anywhere. I mean, you could load those in your car and, just drop out on the highway somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the desert in New Mexico and just start doing them. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. Chris says, was a basketball player, jumper's knee. You're a great, enjoy the honesty. Yeah, Chris, I don't really know. If you have jumper's knee or maybe, I'm not really sure what that is, if that's a form of tendonitis. I would just, all you can really do is find leg exercises that work for you, And I can't really give you a magical answer on that. So guys, we're about 52 minutes in. Just a reminder, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do a live Q&A here on my channel, Massive Iron. I also do a live Q&A on Instagram every Wednesday night at 7. Every Wednesday night at 7. Post up your questions. I'm about to get off here in less than 10 minutes, so if you have a question, get it in now. If not, I'll just run and hide and go about my business. Please join my Facebook group, Massive Iron. I'd appreciate if you guys could come join my community, be a part of it. And I'll get back to the questions, and we'll get out of here. Hank, what's your favorite post-workout meal? Beer. Beer. I like beer. Did I mention I like beer? Seriously though, I don't, when I'm done working out at night, we typically just do, I like to do beef and a lot of vegetables, beef and shrimp and a lot of vegetables. Nothing complicated. Tom says, I heard someone say a set of squats is 4 reps. I'm not really sure what that means. I mean, a set is really anything over 1. 1 is just a single. A set is kind of like a grouping, but you can do 5 sets of 1. So yeah. Joseph, I've always been able to incline bench as much as I can flat barbell bench. Is it a form issue or mental issue? No, it's just different strengths and weaknesses, really. You probably have strong shoulders. You probably have a strong chest. Wouldn't worry about it too much. I can overhead press a lot of weight, and I think it surprises some people compared to my bench press. But you have different strengths and weaknesses: triceps, shoulders, front delts, all that kind of good stuff. So It's just the way you're built. Nothing wrong with anything you're doing. Logan, I have a friend who trains super heavy for 3 weeks, then does a week of swimming. He swears by it. Thoughts? Uh, I, that's like the most random and silly program I've ever heard. If he wants to train hard for 3 weeks and then just do a week of swimming to recover, that's fine. But he swears by it. Anything you do routinely and hard is going to pay off. Does that mean it's smart? No. Does that mean it's efficient? No. But if he likes it, let him run with it. But it's certainly not magic. It's certainly not the most efficient way. But at the end of the day, this is just exercise. And if he likes to do it, then do it. That's all I got to say. Hank, do you believe in what Kinobody says about how it's better to lift fasted? No, it's not. That's an absolute. And absolutes, people that spout absolutes need to be smacked because they're idiots. I've been doing this long enough and trained enough people to know that some people like to train fasted and some people can't train at all without a little something in their belly. So somebody go slap Kinobody for me and tell me he's an idiot for saying that. Let's see. Supplement engineer. I'm going to have a coffee porter in about 1 hour as soon as the brewery opens. That's a way to start a Saturday right there. Porter straight out of bed. Should someone who doesn't care about look or ripped or athletic, but cares about longevity, health, and quality of life, focus on strength training over bodybuilding? Strength training and bodybuilding training are the same thing. They aren't two different programs unless you are training to be a bodybuilder or a competitive power lifter, and you are an advanced lifter. An advanced bodybuilder works on weaknesses. They focus on weaknesses. An advanced power lifter focuses on weaknesses in lower rep sets. But for 99% of us that aren't bodybuilders or powerlifters, there's no different type of programming. You have compound movements, you have consistency, you have a reasonable amount of volume. There's no need to dip below 6 sets per exercise. It's all the same thing. That's why I call it power building. It's all the same thing. And I've made videos on this if you guys are confused. If you are watching Greg Kinobody, then coming over to watch the big, hairy, ugly dude, you're seriously confused. Yeah, I don't watch Kinobody. He looks to be in good shape, but you know what? I mean, honestly, that doesn't mean much to me. I've trained guys before that are younger that look like they came straight out of the womb ripped. So that doesn't impress me as much as seeing somebody learn form and that can actually train other people. SG Brain Strain. Any tips on dealing with strength inconsistencies? I'm finding it hard to progress because from day to day, my finally set varies by a rep or two. Some days I get 10, some 8, some 10. Or some days I get 8, some 6, some 10. The only thing I can tell you is it's part of the journey. If you expect consistency in outcome, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to focus on consistency in effort, because consistency in effort, and that means eating as well, not just gym training, will always yield a consistent result over the long run. So focus on what you can control. That's your effort. One last question. What vitamin, mineral, and supplements do you recommend? If you're training hard and you want the most bang for your buck, creatine and beta-alanine are a good combination that enhance each other, and they're inexpensive. Just make sure to get a good quality choice. Fish oil is a good backup plan. If you struggle with stress and sleep and energy levels and all that kind of good stuff, a pre-workout can have benefit. It also can have benefit in the gym if you're training hard for pumps and stuff like that, but it is not needed. Protein, you need to get your protein intake up. So a protein supplement, a good whey powder. Things like the Outright Bar, which we make over at tigerfitness.com, MTS Nutrition, they're all natural and they have high protein, so it's a backup plan for protein intake. But I really start with that. Bow or shotgun kind of guy? Am I a bow or a shotgun kind of guy? Let me start. I would rather shoot a bow. I was in the military. I shot a gun. I don't have a problem shooting a gun, but if if I'm out in the woods, uh, I would just find more sport in using a bow. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys. I'm exactly an hour in. Head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. Get you a very nice Massive Iron t-shirt, and then tag me on Instagram at Massive Iron. Join my Facebook group, Massive Iron. If you need help with your bench, if you need help with muscle building, I have all kinds of programs and courses over at superlivingtoday.com. And if you need one-on-one help, I do workout assessments, form assessments, diet assessments, inexpensive. I also have a free first month's coaching right now. Free 1 month coaching right now. You can hit me up in the DM on Instagram at Ben the Barman. I'll tell you more. All right, guys. See you guys. Come back next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for your support.